on live yet. Now we're officially live. My bad.
All right.
Okay.
Well, no, I would like I said, I was just saying that it's this has been the best week for MMA news I think all year.
Yeah, it's been the best MMA news week for sure.
Yeah, and the Dan Hooker stuff is just like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The Ilya stuff is just icing. There's just so much icing too.
We've been lacking controversy. We finally got it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the John Jones.
Of course,
Dana
it involves
White.
John Jones, the same characters, usual suspects.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I
but
mean? Usual suspects.
But Dana just, it's so funny, bro. I was just telling somebody too, because like she's been over here and we went to that boxing event
Yeah.
and she doesn't know too much the world about like Dana White and now all the boxing stuff and John Jones. And I was telling her about the press conferences. I was like, bro, Dana White just, that's just the juice.
Mm-hmm. The
He comes
lifeblood
out
is
and
partially these Dana White press conferences every week.
right after the fight. And it's not even about the fight.
And it's not. No, it's not. It's about John Jones and the UFC White House.
Well,
We got a lot to talk about when it comes to UFC White House as well. I'm trying to set it up on the TV here, so just I'm listening
yeah,
now.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, that Ronda Gina press conference was freaking sick. You know what? I missed that. I can't drink the Kool-Aid on that fight.
Nah, me neither. I was actually on stream, same thing as you. Last night I was like, all right, we're gonna react to this stuff because
Right. I get
it's
it.
part of it. If I'm gonna hop on stream, I'm gonna talk about current events. I'm not gonna be above it. But it's like, don't
Right.
expect that I watched this whole thing. Like I'll look at the clips just like you guys. I'm not gonna sit there for that.
And then too, like here's the thing too with like Rousey talking about Valentina and okay, here's the
Lying
thing. Now,
on Valentina's name.
well, here's the thing, right? Here's the two things I took from that. One, she's not lying on the part that UFC pays their fighters like
She
shit.
cooked there.
That I
She
Right.
cooked there.
Now to throw Valentina under the bus when this
Unnecessary.
girl went unnecessary. And when that girl like she got shots. Just random shots came her way. She was like chilling,
Mm-hmm.
doing her little dance and shit. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't messing with nobody and she would murder Rousey.
No question.
mean?
Not even a conversation.
Bro, she would get that smoke so quick.
Come get it.
Right.
Come get it.
So I'm just
Valentina
saying,
did say some other stuff too. Should we read her response real quick?
yeah, she clapped back, which I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad she clapped back.
Let me see what she said. But for me,
And
you know,
Valentina's always so respectful, bro.
she didn't deserve that. And
Nah.
but for me, the lying is one thing, but then to add on top of it, why you're lying is because, like you just said, to start off the topic, is like, I can't get into this press conference, right? Well, the only reason why we're talking about it is because she did some bullshit like this.
Right. That's true.
And it's like, that's why she did it.
True.
And so for those reasons alone, it's like, fuck you. Low key. But let me see what Valentina had to say.
She did her job though, I guess, in that part. Right. But big picture, like, you know what? You know what I love about all this?
Okay, she said this. It's 2026. Fighters using OnlyFans is just a new way to connect with fans. Looks like Ronda slept too long after her last fight in 2016. Oof. Oof, that's good. That is good.
There, you know what? There was some good Twitter action just all week, bro. John Jones kicked it off though.
Yeah, he
John
did kick
Jones
it off.
going on that rant, bro. Like he was in his feelings. Dana White probably shouldn't have said anything. And honestly, I kind of sided with John Jones. Release the man then.
Yeah.
They threw him under the bus, bro.
Yeah, so that's a very weird one. But you know what I've come to a conclusion of last night, actually? Have you been kind of following this whole storyline? It's very confusing.
With
John Jones, Dana, who was really in negotiations, Ilya not being a part of the White House card until the very last minute, Gaethje being told he was off White House until like Friday, the night before it's announced.
Right.
Super confusing.
Right. I where did I read it or who said it? It was just like how was it? Oh, it's Colby. Oh man, I hate siding with Kobe too.
What did Colby say? The card sucks?
Just that like how disorganized it was, just how last minute it was, how like they just threw these fights together, not real like this should have been American 6 or 7 because they sold it big.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing, right? they sold it so big that we were thinking UFC 300.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of get this.
But to that point, right? Here's the catch to that. They sold it so big, and then to everybody, right? Even the fighters, they're like, this is a big fight, to the point where John Jones is asking for 30 million. That's the alleged number. And then the catch 22 to this is that the UFC on the back end, they're like, well, just exposing them for wolf tickets, because on the back end, they're like, well, to be honest with you, let me share the real truth with you. This event's going to flop. We're doing this as a splurge for Trump, right? We can't really afford to shell out money like this. We're not going to generate that much on the event. We're doing it at the White House. We're not really even selling tickets, so to speak.
Right.
It's not at an arena and shit with all this gate and all the, it's going to be on some type of lawn, like, 500 yards away from the actual arena. The arena is going to be full of elites. They're not buying tickets. It's like an invite type of thing.
Right.
And so with that being said, oh my gosh, we got more memberships coming in. Oh no. Yeah, we got 5 membies coming in. Just totally just like took me off my point. Totally took me off my point.
Get back on track, dog.
What was I saying?
You were saying, hey, like
the catch.
Ticket numbers.
Okay, so the catch to this is like the UFC built it up to be this big card, right?
Right.
Built it up to be this big card, to the point where John Jones is like, if it's a big card, if it's a historic event, I want 30 million. Give me money to fight on this historic event. And then the UFC is coming back saying like, well, we can't really afford to pay you because we're going to take a loss on this card. So it's very catch-22, because if you can't afford to pay these fighters, right, then by a direct default, you're going to get a lower grade card, because you're getting guys that you don't have to pay as much money to. The biggest stars are going to want the most money, which you have to now, take out of the conversation, because you don't want to pay that type of money. You're on a budget for this card. So it's very odd. They built it up to be the biggest card ever, and by doing that, in a way, it made them make it a smaller card.
Yeah.
It's confusing to explain because it's so backwards.
No, you know what? I get that. It's almost like a novelty fight card, because of just that one little aspect of they can't put it at an arena. They may have, what, I don't know, 500 people.
I couldn't even tell you.
But you know what I mean? Like it won't even be that big of numbers, right? It's a very inner circle type of thing. Now the TV side of it, though, because they'll probably play that on CBS, like how they do, like, almost the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's bigger than, I mean, it's not bigger, but those are big. There's, millions of dollars behind that. All those advertisements they're going to be running behind those fights at the White House. I mean, bro, like, imagine if they met numbers like the Super Bowl, which I don't think it will do. I'm throwing something crazy out there too, but NFL playoff game.
It could have if they had John Jones and a McGregor and shit like that. So that also doesn't make any sense to me. Why not build up the card massively, and then, like you're saying, you might not make it up back on the ticket sales, but build up this card so big with the biggest stars that you can make it back on ad revenue.
Right.
But I don't know how that works.
Bro,
with who gets that, Paramount or the UFC, right? The commercials and stuff.
Well, that's
the partnership.
Well, that's another great question, right? Because Paramount's paying you $7.7 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what the deal they have cut on advertisement revenue. You know what I mean?
Because I think Paramount could have made a lot of ad revenue, though, off of hosting that event on their platform with the commercials.
Which they already are doing, though, right? Because they're getting. So here's the question: like that advertisement, they're got to get a return on their money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're banking on the fact, like, hey, we can do, I don't know, let's say 40 commercials in this time frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much are we getting per commercial for that period of time that we're presenting the UFC on our platform? I mean, that's how they're like, okay, we're going to make 10 million on this show, 10 million, 20 million on this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So CBS, they know exactly what they're doing. The question is, does the UFC get a taste of that too on the back end? I don't know that question either.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they just said, hey, you got the 7.7.
Right.
Shut up.
That's what I think it would be.
Product.
That's what I think it would be.
Present your product. So
we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of the whole White House card is super confusing. The whole, even the fact that it's going to theoretically take a loss and it's for Trump. And then the UFC is like, we're willing to think about this. We're willing to take a loss on Trump's B-Day, right? Somebody who don't got nothing to do with us, really, in all reality. We're going to take a loss on Trump's B-Day, but God forbid we overspend on you guys, our actual fighters, our actual product. God forbid we do that. You guys can never get anything. I never even realized that until now. But think about that. They're taking a loss on it because of Trump and his birthday, right? And you're going to go ahead and throw this little birthday event for America on behalf of Donald Trump, taking an L. Then for the fighters, it's like, no, we can't pay you. We're already taking a loss for Trump. These guys need to wake up.
And I think too, but what that did, that it unraveled the little string, right? Another little string that the John Jones like kind of downfall because of the fighter pay, right? Now we're even Eddie Hearn's now coming out and saying something, right? And like this ain't right. This ain't right. You know, and because now he wants to get into boxing, they're gonna start being able to open up a new box, a new Pandora's box that. You know, there's gonna be a lot of. He's gonna be getting a lot of smoke right now.
Yeah,
he's built for it.
He's built for it, but I think a lot of people are catching on. I see lots of memes calling Dana a liar. You know, why is he always like turn it around on us? Because people are now questioning, why is Conor Ben worth 15 million? You know, what do you think about the UFC fighters not happy about that? And Dana is like, what's wrong with it? And then people are commenting, being like, bro, why you always turn it around on us? Why is it always our fault? You know what I mean? Why do you never see our point?
Here's the problem too, though, like with all this, like big picture, the problem is there's not another promotion that against them that can go in there and literally say, like, listen, we're gonna start stealing these guys. They, you know what I mean? Like this Netflix thing is the only real big money competitor, which isn't even a competition because no one gives a fuck about this.
Absolutely zero fucks. Even Francis. It's like, and two things can be true. It's like, yeah, Francis, sure, you're getting money. And this is what I was actually thinking about today. Speaking of what you just brought up, it gives me an opportunity to say what I want to say about this. You know, talking about covering Francis Ngannou going over here, when you're talking about the NBA, right? And, you know, a player, he goes over to the European League because, you know, he I don't know, he left the NBA, so to speak. Even if he was in his prime, let's just say, like Francis kind of was, you don't cover him anymore. And so there's a reason for that, because it's just not interesting, the level of competition that he's facing. And I know that we cover Ngannou over here and, you know, Ronda and shit like that, but there's an issue I have with all the media covering everything like this by default. You know, it kind of does bother me a little bit because it's like disingenuous. You know, we don't want to see it, like you're saying, but it gets promoted constantly. And you wouldn't do this for, like, you know, if you compare it to the NBA, or let's say a baseball player goes and plays in Japan or some shit like that, you no longer cover him. But I don't know, I guess because it's a US type of content going on Netflix. But, you know, it's weird. It's super weird because it's low levels of competition, but then it's getting hyped up because of the TV network it's on. Do you see how these things are all disingenuous? Because it's on Netflix is more of a reason for it to get hyped up than anything else.
I mean, that's definitely a reason, right? Now, what would really shake things up if John Jones could get released and went and fought on something like that.
Ngannou versus Jones. Okay, then now we're talking.
Or
Aspinall.
Or they do. Or exactly, right? Like it takes. What's interesting. It's so crazy because I can say this, but I can't say this. Like I would love to say two top guys. Let's say Tom and John Jones did leave, right? And went to go fight with Eddie Hearn and they put something else. Yeah, we'd watch that one fight and they would get paid millions. But what the UFC has is another 50 fighters that are fucking premier.
Yeah.
So
and there's no longevity, right? Well, what's their next fight? John Jones and Ngannou. Who do they fight next? They're going to drop off a cliff. It's going to be Felipe Lins again.
That's it. It's one peak.
And you see that with Ngannou now. He went from fighting AJ and these guys to fighting a guy like Felipe Lins.
Yeah, it's a one-hitter quitter.
And I just think that it should be mentioned more. I just think it should be mentioned more, like that it's shit.
Yeah.
That it's shit. I think the real
you know, the Flies, MMA Rio, Andrew.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Since you are shouting out the chat, let me say this real quick. Thank you, Andrew Nance, for gifting out 5 members, homie. Always appreciated. You are the GOAT. We already know that. So I guess Meat Rocket, Adam Ramos, Sean C, Savage, Ernesto, all new members. I'm gonna be adding a couple new things to it, like some new emojis and shit. We're gonna try to get some new interviews. So stay tuned. You guys get exclusive content on there.
Can you get a ring girl, maybe?
Something.
in
I
the
can get a ring
background.
girl. I can get a ring girl like
Yeah.
emoji going on.
No. We want someone live in the background, just walking behind you.
Oh.
Like, do you need anything, sir?
No. But what about a ring girl emoji?
Imagine,
That sounds good to me.
imagine that you had that every show. Like, just one time a girl came through and it's like, "Do you need anything,
Like a
sir?" And all the
cocktail
boys are like, "What?"
waitress, like at the
Yeah, like,
casino.
boys are like, "What's happening here?"
All right, and then Tony Sal gifted $1.50. So thank you, Tony Sal. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Okay. What else we
All right,
got?
back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show. But shout out to Meat Rocket for also being first one in the chat. Special shout out. Okay, let's go. Anything to say, or you want me to say something?
No, I was gonna say,
Shout out Jew.
I know we just kind of went on that little tangent, but should we just touch on UFC 326?
Yeah, let's speak on it a little bit.
Right? We got to.
Yeah. Well, I could say this. Well, let me give you
I'll
a quick.
say this: the Brahalo versus RDR fight was not impressed with either fighter.
You weren't impressed.
No.
I mean,
no.
I knew Kyle was gonna be a lock, but it's not something I wrote home about. I wasn't also like not impressed. Co-main. Yeah.
And I get, and I love Kyle's like how he wants to sell it. Like, hey, I want to put my hands down and entertain the fans, but it's not like you whooped on RDR. You beat him, but you didn't beat him.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get a finish. Sean Strickland got the finish.
Yeah, you do like the finishes.
I mean, you want to sell. You want to. The showboating is cool, but knock them out.
It gets competitive, yeah. These days,
do a Gene Silva, do a Mauricio Rufy. You know what I mean? Do a Carlos Freitas.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna be about it, then don't, because it looked not co-main event worthy.
Okay.
And RDR going up, I don't know if that helps him either.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that today. RDR moving up to the light heavyweight. Yeah. How about Kyle Baralio's call out of DDP?
No.
You're just not a fan of that. I mean, I'm down for it. I mean, Kyle, the thing is, whether you don't like Okay, but hear me out. Let's break this down a little bit. Whether you don't like the performance or not, I can accept either way. It's not like I even really care. For me, I'm not, I didn't love the performance. I also didn't hate it. So I could just put it like that, right? Now let me say this. In my opinion, he got a win. In my opinion, I think that regardless of how he performed, one thing I took away from that is Kyle, he's pretty good, man. I mean, I don't see many other guys being able to beat him. So if you don't think a DDP, like, what would be the next fight? Because, he did lose to Imavov. Should we look at the rankings?
So, I mean, yeah, if I were to give him, where did he get ranked? I don't even think he moved.
Let me pull up the rankings. Let's see it. While we're on this one, right? Because I actually don't really have an opponent for him, but let's try to find him one. I was kind of in support of DDP.
He moved up too,
but going up to DDP, the #1 contender, is a bit much.
I think Anthony Hernandez, it was a great fight for him next, and I think Anthony Hernandez takes him.
Oh, you know what? How could I deny that one? Yeah.
And Brendan.
I was gonna say Brendan. Yeah,
either one of them. Okay. Either one of them, because I think Sean smokes him. I think Nezardine smokes him. I think DDP smokes him. It was a good call out for Kyle, just like on the mic, of course. Yeah, call out DDP. But DDP, to me, in my opinion, he has too much. Like, he's the Marab at that weight class.
Okay. No, I am more in agreement for a Brendan Allen and Anthony Hernandez. And it's also like you just came off a loss. You're back in the win column, but it's still back to work. I know these guys are always going to, advocate, like, get me back in that number one contender contention, right? But it's like, bro, back to work a little bit. Win one against Allen or Hernandez, then start talking about a DDP potentially.
And here's the thing, too. If he would have finished him, I would have a whole different outlook on this.
Yeah, that's the way the sport's gone these days. To really get the support.
Or dominated, bro. Or dominated. Like, Will was like, bro, you whooped him.
Yeah.
He beat him.
Yeah.
He beat him. He didn't whoop him.
Yeah. People see through it these days. You can't just get a win is not equal these days. No more is a win equal.
Like, okay, for example.
Like, people still don't think Ian Gary deserves a title shot and shit like that because he'd be getting, unanimous decisions.
See, I'm on the fence on that one. We'll get back to that. But here's the other thing, too. Like, the fight before that, Rosas Jr. versus Rob Font. Come on, bro. You think that gets you in the top 15?
Oh,
you You would feel like you can stand on that. You see, I'm heated today. Like, I don't know what it was about that performance, but I was like, bro, that did not impress me. Like, for you to be in the top 15 off that little win, bro, you should go back and want to go to the gym the very fucking next day.
Yeah.
Don't be proud of that.
All I can
Got
say
the win.
All I can say about Raul is a terrible performance. And this is what I've talked about with you in the past. I said it on stream as well. And I went off on the stream, like how I be streaming the fights, right? While
Yeah.
Raul was saying, I wanted the finish. It's like, no, you fucking didn't, you lying piece
No,
of
you didn't.
crap. You did not even
Yeah.
try to even punch him on the ground because you're so scared that he's gonna stand up and box your ears off. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, the other thing with Raul is he says, oh, I wanted to do this for my mom, I don't, whatever. And it's like, bro, everybody's got that story. Like, it's not enough, Raul. Like, you don't go in there and you don't fight like shit. You're getting given too much. You got that monster sponsorship. You got so many people, glazing you up over the word chi wee wees because you got nice hair and you're young. But the truth is you really ain't shit yet. Not at all, bro. And you've been getting preferential fights this whole time. All right. And with these preferential fights, you're not doing shit with it. And then you're just like happy about it. You want to talk about, I'm just doing this for my mom. Bro, you keep doing this for your mom, fighting shitty like that. You guys will be out of here really soon. You're going to go find yourself on a regional promotion somewhere. But like, my point is, and I've told you this so many times, all this glazing up for these guys over sensationalism because, the sport, like, that's why it's called a sport zesty, bro. What is it that people get behind Raul Rosas Jr. for? He is good at jiu-jitsu, but when it comes to stepping in that cage, he ain't shit really right now. And he's been in here for a minute.
I think, just to jump in, like, for example, give him Peyton Talbot. If you can beat Peyton Talbot, my hats will go off to a lot higher. Like, I have a lot more respect for you. But I don't think he can get through that.
I think he should run it with Peyton Talbot. I think they should stop fucking giving him these preferential fights, and it's to the wolves now. It's to the wolves now.
Well, and it's not only that, this is all it's smoke right now. It's all smoke right now. And I mean, like, it's a facade, right? It's not that performance showed me that this is like, you're not ready for that top 5 at all.
No.
Like, at all. Peyton Talbot may be ready. Like, I have a lot more I can stand on with Peyton Talbot. And there's some other guys in that division that have been up and comers that, bro, when they go in there, some of these younger guys, they are good at 5 different things in the game. Like, they throw 3 to 4 to 5 combos. They take you down. They have great stamina. They're fast. They're quick. They're powerful. I can say maybe 1 or 2 for Rosas. Maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I love his whole marketing. Like, he has something, but we got to, like, he got to go back to the drawing board and start from, like, ground zero, in my opinion.
Forget the marketing. You did enough marketing. It's time to start improving the fight skills.
Right. So, like, that to be that fight, I was like,
I really do like that Peyton Talbot matchup. Vinicius is right there too. He's number 12. Raul's 13.
And Vinicius would be a good matchup because he's coming off that loss, and it was a bad loss, and he has something to prove. And I think, Vinicius is a dog, but he got shown there was another level to this shit.
Mm-hmm. But this,
like, I forgot, who did he lose to? David Martinez?
I don't even know, but I'm just so on Raul Rosas about him feeling like his shit don't stink because everyone rides behind him. Who?
Rosas wouldn't beat Batista.
Are you kidding me, bro? Like, another, I could say it again. Not even a conversation. Are you kidding me? Like, of course, a million times he would never beat him.
It's a setup.
Yeah, but no, I really don't like. This is the problem with the glazing sometimes is it forces these guys.
Said David Martinez. I'd watch that too.
Yeah, but the glazing does not force these guys to innovate. I think Raul needs to take a tough loss at this point. Clearly, the support that he's getting and the blessings he's getting from the UFC, he's not grateful for. And now he needs to get the other side of it. He needs to be fed to the wolves. You really think you're like that, then get fed to the wolves and see what happens, because what's going to happen, I don't think it's going to be good for you. And you might have to be forced to innovate your skills that way, because right now he's not doing enough growth and innovation, and he's getting so much. He's got bread, bro. He's got bread. He's got that fucking monster sponsorship. All right, he's got bread. He's got preferential fights this whole time. and he's not doing shit with it.
Yeah.
You don't go out there and
No, I mean,
perform like that and be that clueless. But he's that clueless because he's being glazed up no matter what he does, bro. For some odd
but he's
reason that I can't figure out.
but he's getting to a point where it's gonna hit a wall though, right?
He's to the point.
a
He's to the point. The gig is
yeah,
up.
yeah, the gig is up.
The gig is up.
That's a good point, right? And like, you know, perfect example, like the Gregory Rodriguez fight did his job, hands down, undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
boy's
yeah, yeah.
bad, bro.
Yeah.
He had a bad loss with Jared Cannonier, but I think he learned something from that. He belongs in that top 15. He's a dog.
He got his lick back. You know that Bruno knocked him out in the past, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he got his lick back there. Good shit to Gregory. Good shit to Gregory. That was a great performance.
Yeah, and then the fight before that, after that was
Drew and Michael Johnson.
Yeah, Drew Michael was getting on him too.
Michael
he won round one.
Yeah, Michael was
Johnson
doing
won
decent,
round
but I kind of saw that
doing
one coming. Drew Dober,
Really?
he's kind of he's just kind of a dog. I saw that one coming a little bit. Not saying through the fight, but before the fight even took place, I was saying I think Drew Dober is going to take it. I know that Michael's good, and Michael did get off some decent shots, but Drew Dober
then he
kind of
got caught.
he thrives in certain fights like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did the same thing to Bobby Green. You know, and like these when he doesn't have to worry about a takedown or anything, and it's just like, you know, a boxing fight, he seems to really thrive in it.
A brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beyond that, bro, I couldn't really tell you too much about the rest of the
No, yeah, I was gonna say let's only discuss the main card. Let's only discuss the main card. We haven't even touched on Charles versus Max though.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see that necessarily coming. Congrats to Charles. I wish he would have. My thing is this: I wish he would have stood in and banged a bit more in the 4th and 5th after banking the first 3. I'm not against the grappling, but at least in the last 2, give us some risk. Like, give us some risk.
I would say this. Here's my thing, and I think a couple of people have said this. Like, the BMF belt was built. Why? It was built on the fact that like 2 guys that just went out there and just left it all in 9 standing. Charles went out there and acted like the belt was on the line.
No, I know. Yeah. For a fact.
He was fighting Ilya.
No, he really did though. And it's
He
it's
was
kind
like,
of a problem.
He's like, I'm not losing. I think Max was like, dog.
It's like, dude, this is not what we signed up for, homie. Like, what the fuck are you doing in here?
You're not fighting Islam.
Yeah.
But this is the people's champ belt. You know what I mean? Like,
he played the clueless card. He totally pulled the clueless card. He speaks no English, so there's no real way to gauge, you know, like how much he was aware of like the fans' discontent with it.
When he cried and shit, like that's what I mean. I thought you really thought it was for the belt, bro.
Yeah.
You thought he was walking away the light.
I was actually surprised that more people didn't press him about like the discontent with the fans after that fight. He didn't really get asked about it much, and when he did, he's just like, well, you know, I wanted to take the safe route and like blah blah blah. And it's through like a translator, so they weren't really able to press him for it.
Right.
And he hasn't really addressed any of the allegations about like, bro, like you did not turn out an exciting fight.
Well, here's the thing, like Charles would never be put in a position. So this is now not going to become the BMF belt because if the BMF belt always goes to jiu-jitsu guys, no one will get excited for it.
We're going to need to have someone knock him out or something.
Right. No one will get excited for it. It won't be as glamorous anymore. That BMF belt just took a notch down.
Well, the next fight that they book for Charles, it's got a lot of stake for the BMF belt as a whole. You know, you cannot afford a second bad fight and a second bad guy as the BMF champion. You need
him and Aljo verse together for the BMF belt. How's that?
No, fuck no.
Well, you see what I'm saying?
No, I think Arman.
Arman could probably take. That's a good one.
You know, and there's also
the belt though.
I know.
Arman
I think Arman's gonna need a fight before he gets a title shot anyway. Why not give him an unofficial belt? He's also got this little persona right now fighting outside the cage, BMF title. Right. He's also got the grappling to actually be competitive with Charles. That happened in their first fight. It was competitive in the grappling, both back and forth. So I think that's the guy you put in there. You know what?
And here's the thing.
But he's going to be hard to take that belt off of. Arman's going to be hard to take that belt off of.
I would say this, that after someone played the side by side of when Charles tried to do that to Ilya, and Ilya was able to flip it on him and then get on top of Charles. It's such a game of inches, and that gained me so much more respect for Ilya, actually.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
To see what Charles did to Max that way, because he did dominate him on the ground. And kudos to Max for actually fighting through every little time, because there was too many. Bro, he got choked out almost 40 times.
Yeah, in the first round alone.
That to you, just me, bro. I'm like, oh, get off of me now, bro. You know what? I'm done. Choke me out. You know what I mean? So, that Ilya footage of them going back and because Charles had him against the fence too, body locked him, tried to spin him and take him down, but didn't go down like that.
Yeah. So, I am a little bit heartbroken for Max, but it's, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not too broken up about it. I know Charles is a great fighter, and I knew he had a chance at beating Max, but I was going to ride for Max, balls to the wall till the very end.
Yeah.
But obviously Charles is skilled, and it's not super surprising. I would actually say hats off to Charles for, getting a lot of good offensive takedowns. Good on him for that. What's next for Charles? I think Arman. What's next for Max? I think there's a lot of guys at the top of that division. I'll be honest with you. Aside from Arman, who's a good matchup for Max, I think he beats everybody. I think the hardest matchup for Max inside that top 5 is going to be Arman. But when you talk about like a Dan Hooker, a Paddy Pimblett, like a Matthews Gamrot, like I do think Max Holloway will walk through these guys. So whoever for Max up in the top of that division, I mean, he already beat Gaethje, right? He already competed against Ilya. He wants to get back in that conversation. But I mean, up in that top 5, he's still competitive, except for with Arman, in my opinion. That would be a tough fight for him.
The Paddy would be a good fight to make, in my opinion.
Paddy's out here calling out Charles, and it's like, I'm sorry, Charles just won the BMF title, homie. You're coming off that loss. Like, you don't just get a BMF title fight, but we'll give you Max. We'll sure as hell give you Max, the guy who flatlined Gaethje.
And I think he should take it. You know what I mean? He really should take that fight.
Yeah, I think he should. No more pussyfooting around for these guys. Take the damn fights. Be warriors. Even if you consider Nate, I know that you had a little gap of your fan base, so I'm not sure if this was early when you were a fan or when you weren't a fan. But Nate Diaz, he took a lot of tough fights early in his career. He was a lightweight,
100%.
but he was fighting for all that. He was fighting up at welterweight. His loss to Rory McDonald was at 170 as a lightweight. His loss to Dong Yong Kim, the Asian guy, was at of course he's Asian with that name, but was at 170. You know what I mean? And so be a real fucking fighter. Like I am sick of the preferential fights and like certain guys, playing on timelines and being less active because they don't want to fight a certain guy. Be active, take the tough fights, even if you might take the fucking L. I'm sick of it. And I want Paddy to take that fight against Max Holloway. I do want Paddy to take that fight against Max Holloway because Max Holloway shouldn't be fighting a guy like Matthews Gamrot, really.
Yeah.
It's a more high-profile fight, Max and Paddy.
Gamrot's fighting Ribovics next.
Well, perfect. That's more his speed anyway. He coming off the loss to Charles, so, he already was gifted that opportunity with Charles in its own right.
Yeah. Just Juice says, if Paddy fights Max, I suspect he'll try to copy Oliveira's game plan, but won't be able to.
That's a good
Paddy
point.
evolves with every loss and win. He's entertaining. Paddy's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think that was a tough... That Paddy had a learning lesson too, right? That's a learning lesson to lose to Garrison Gaethje like that.
And then Juice says it's not a bad loss for Max. I think what I would say Juice probably saying is, Charles Oliveira is such a good fighter that losing to him, there's not really a downswing to it.
Well, and I think in my opinion, he gave all his heart in that fight. He never gave up.
Mm-hmm.
He never gave up because a lot of people would fold just to be devastated, like to keep getting taken down, to keep having to fight off your back, to keep trying to get, that's demoralizing, bro. Like 99% of the people would just give up and say, fuck it, dog, you got me.
Yeah. Can I be
honest
with you?
It's like someone beating you with what?
As a Max Holloway fan, let me be honest with you. I'm glad the fight went the way it went in hindsight as a Max Holloway fan because, to be honest, fucking Charles Oliveira was piecing Max up on the feet every time they were exchanging. You know, I thought Max was
Mm.
going to be able to walk down Charles, and he did not at all. Barely walked him down. Max was popping him with the jab a little bit, but I mean, Charles was getting him good. And in the last 10 seconds, he rocked him as well. You know, he's the one who rocked Max in the last 10 seconds. With that being said, I'm glad the fight went the way it went because, Max didn't take that bad of a beating and he didn't get
True. He didn't
knocked
take too
out.
much of a
And so
damage.
he
He
has
didn't
a
get
lot,
too.
yeah, that extends his fighting career. You know, if
Yeah,
he
it
did
does.
get knocked out if over the course of 5 rounds and he just got beat to a pulp, like how Tony Ferguson did with Justin Gaethje, right? He might have
Hmm.
fallen off a cliff after that. He might have been pretty punch drunk, right?
Right.
But even like look at Nick Diaz and BJ Penn. BJ Penn was like punch drunk after that fight.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen to Max. So I know people are complaining about it, but in hindsight, as a Max Holloway fan, shout out to Charles because I think Charles could have potentially knocked him out or beat him worse than he did. And I think Charles kind of likes him and he likes the whole family aspect. And so he
Yeah.
low key, I think in the back of my head, Charles took it a bit easy on Max intentionally because he likes him, because of the family aspect, because he respects him as a father.
Right.
It can get a
He
little
has
bit
either.
deep like that sometimes. And those two, I think that's the perfect between those two circumstance for something like that to happen. Because
Yeah.
not all
Charles
fighters
is.
care about each other, but I think those two do.
Yeah. Charles is super super respectful all the time.
And humble. So, respect
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I guess thank you, Charles. That's my unofficial thank you for not beating the shit out of Max, unfortunately. I also placed $50 on it, my first time betting in like a year. So shit, I
Oh
lost
really?
my 50 ball. Yeah, I lost my 50
Uh,
ball. Okay, so
you you you
that's
you were
almost
trying to
enough of
trying
that.
to double up.
I was. That's enough of that. I think should we touch on the Vallejos versus Emmett?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I mean, I was looking at the card. I'm not. I'm not prelim game today.
No, I'm not gonna be really prelim gang either. I guess I'll just talk about the fights that are interesting, and there's not many. But Jose Delgado, um, out of the MMA lab, he's gonna be fighting Andre Fili, so that's a cool fight. But mostly,
Oh, you gotta love the co-main, huh?
oh yeah, that's just it's like
That's
damn,
crazy,
damn
bro.
over Omar C and Ion Cote de Laba, like really, 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 like two fucking light heavyweights are gonna be below women for what?
Bro, they should have put the Charles Johnson Bruno Silva at co-main. Like I don't know.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry about that.
They could have put the Curtis Orabai on the main card.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I don't know what they were thinking with this one.
I
But
guess they're trying to get fans to tune in for the prelims and tune in early, but you don't really need to do that. We could have switched out the girls. The girl maybe they
you know what they
even the
did?
girls. Hold on, even the girls fight as the premier prelim fight would be like okay.
Yeah. Now, you know what they did though? Is they like spaced out all the good fights. Like they put a good fight early in here. The second fight's pretty good. Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. That's pretty good. And then it's like shit fight, shit fight, shit
Hmm.
fight.
Elijah Smith, is that the kid that was
He got that like Rampage
Dana
Jackson.
White is he the Dana White Contender Series?
Yeah, he is. But he also got that Rampage Jackson slam, if you remember.
Okay, he's not the kid that was like working out of Houston in that like a iron worker, was he?
No, 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 no.
That's someone else.
Yeah, yeah. Olaji Boki, he gets crazy knockouts. I think. No, actually, he doesn't. My bad. He doesn't get crazy knockouts. He's coming off a loss, so that's not that.
Bro, you got to be like a diehard to know these fighters right here.
Yeah, Chris Curtis. Obviously, we like that one. Mitabik Oralbai.
Yeah.
Brad
Or by
Tavares.
Chris Curtis, that's gonna be a banger, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Charles Johnson.
Yeah, that's gonna be a banger too. With
Yeah.
Bruno Silva, I'm that's an exciting fight actually.
Mm-hmm.
Neither guy can afford a loss. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but here's my thoughts on the main event. I think Kevin Vallejos, he probably got better boxing than Josh Emmett. I'm gonna pick Kevin Vallejos to win this one. His only loss, I believe, is to Gene Silva, and he's coming off of a crazy knockout over Giga Chikadze. And in that fight, I saw shades of Ilya, and obviously Ilya beat the shit out of Josh Emmett, like beat the dog shit out of him. And Kevin Vallejos is Ilya Topuria like 2.0. So also minus 500 heavy favorite. I think the odds makers see what I'm seeing here. Literally, Kevin or Josh Emmett is fucked here because he's getting another Ilia Topuria. Watch on
Yeah.
Saturday and tell me that this dude, right, is not a silhouette of Ilia Topuria when it comes to the stand up. The
Yeah,
most
no,
patient,
he's
crisp boxing. Oof.
yeah, no, he shakes up that division, right? Like, I mean, even with like Costa, Vallejos, kind of creeping into this top 10, Steve Garcia right there. Um, so those three names, and there's some other guys on that 15 to 20 that that are really going to start shaking some stuff up. So no, this is well deserved right here. This is the next evolution right here of that wave
Mm-hmm.
in this division.
Um. Okay, I know we haven't even really touched on it, but I want to touch on UFC White House first.
Okay.
I just want to get your thoughts on the card. You know.
I think I dropped something like, the card's mid, but
Canada versus
okay.
USA.
Yeah, I mean, I think before you and I were dropping some banger fights.
Yeah.
And we went real like high,
Mm-hmm.
like a dream card. Um, but the Ilya versus Justin, that's exciting. I mean, I really do want to see that now. I want to, Justin Gaethje deserves that fight. Ilya's message was so cold though
Mm-hmm.
to Justin. Like,
The fact that he can control how quickly he knocks him out is crazy to me.
bro, like what he said was just so cold though. Like,
He
I'm sorry,
literally, he's always like, listen, I'll just knock you out quick. Don't worry about it. It's like, bro, how? Like, how the fuck are you gonna control that?
yeah,
He's
I
too
forgot what he
good.
said, but he said something to the extent of like, hey, sorry,
You want me to read it? I
sorry,
got it
my
on
bad.
IG.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me get it for you. He said,
Yeah, I can't find it now.
yeah, he goes, Justin, see you at the White House. I'm not someone who humiliates people. It will be quick. When you wake up, everything will already be over.
It's cold-blooded, bro.
He
Straight
also
up
hit Ali
cold-blooded.
Abdelaziz with both of their manager is a bitch and also ugly as hell.
His his um his mouthpiece game, elite,
Mm-hmm.
elite. And then so yeah, no, it's a banger. That's a banger fight, right? The Alex Pieta versus Cyril Gane. It's crazy because when I saw them both kind of stand up and do the face off, like Cyril Gane looks big.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a banger fight. It is a banger fight though.
Do you think Cyril Gane deserves to be in the interim, title conversation still being, having what he's done to Tom Aspinall in his history of eye pokes, or am I just making a lot of nothing?
I mean, there's something to be had there, but who else were they going to put?
Volkov.
Mm, he's still the number one guy. Cyril Gane is still the number one guy.
Yeah.
Volkov, what? So Volkov didn't impress me on that last fight either.
This is why I think, I won't go over it too much, but this is why I think Cyril Gane should have been suspended and fined, because then it would have allowed us to put Volkov in there, and it would have been a known thing like, oh no, Gane's on a suspension for being a dirty motherfucker. Right? And now, because he's not on suspension, I do kind of agree with you that, like, yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you
I mean,
going to do?
Volkov is on a win streak, though. You're right.
Yeah. And, Gane, he's a
Oh, I
cheater.
guess he's 6 out of 7.
Yeah, but even the
Lost to
UFC,
Cyril
like
Gane.
Dana White said that he beat Cyril Gane, and we're gonna take it. We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna treat you like you beat Gane, and then now Gane's in the next, the second title shot
Yeah.
in a row, and it's fine. I get it, but I'm just more so on the tip of like, this is why I believe fighters should be suspended and
And
fined for being,
and
penalizers.
and they'd rather sell the fact that they'd rather have Alex win.
Yeah, yeah. But
That
wouldn't it
I
be
mean,
more favorable for Alex and Volkov too? Volkov kind of
I
like a
guess
mid
if
striker.
I guess if I was I just saw a crazy Kev comment.
Really?
um, um, the homie crazy Kev. That's the homie.
Yeah.
Um, I think that
Yo, Buck fight update from Crazy Kev. It's on UFC 328 now. I can text Joaquin about that. I bet you Crazy Kev's full of cat, bro. I could text Joaquin about that right now.
is he supposed to be fighting Sean Brady?
Yeah.
How would that even? That wouldn't even make sense.
What's Crazy Kev's IG? I do have him blocked. So oh, Magic
You did?
Bets reported it too. Brady versus Buckley moved to UFC Newark. Sterling versus Alal, UFC Vegas 116 main event at the Apex per sources. Yeah, and Big Marcel said, got told Sterling versus Alal is headlining on April 25th. No idea about the status of the original main event between Brady and Buckley. Yeah, so Brady versus
What
Buckley
up?
moved to UFC Newark. What date is that?
UFC 328. So that would be what, May?
Well, UFC Newark, is that UFC 328?
Yeah, because 327 is in Miami, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Tony Sal 645?
Yeah,
What's up,
UFC
Ruthless?
328 is in
Oh, what's
Newark,
up,
New
Soda Pop?
Jersey. Yeah.
Everybody, hey, drop your your city. Shout out. I don't see Kev comment here.
It looks like it's the co-main now. Co-main. So I don't even need to text Joaquin. You know, if Big Marcel's reporting on it.
Oh, Big Marcel reported on it too?
Yeah, Magic Bets usually gets it right anyway, so. What's the date on this one? May 9th. Okay, so it got pushed back about 2 weeks. So Buckley getting a bit of a longer camp. That's not good for Sean Brady. But for several reasons.
Soda Pop says, Jacob, I'm gonna see Buck scrap in real life. I'm gonna go see him scrap in real and run it. I don't care if it runs me 1,000. I was saying up for Kid Cudi concert, but Kid Cudi gonna have to wait.
Yeah, shit. Kid
Day
Cudi
and
concert
night.
gonna have to wait for sure, bro.
Day and night.
Shit, Kid Cudi's
South
gonna have to
Phoenix is
come
in the
out to
building.
Joaquin's
What's up?
fight. 1 second, let me
What's
plug in
up,
my phone before it dies.
Odo? Man, I can't even say that. Brooklyn motherfuckers. What's up? What's up? Hey, Odo, my brother passed away right there on in Phoenix on 13th Ave and Buckeye. If you know, you
Okay,
know.
so good to know. What'd you say?
No, I was just giving these dudes a shout out here.
Okay.
Soda Pop, you guys go and just watch the glory holes. Oh,
Uh,
damn.
Jeez Louise. All right.
Oh, 209's in the building, Judge Jew.
209. Oh, South Phoenix. There we go. Dropping the city. Brooklyn. Okay. Tacoma.
Tacoma.
That's Seattle. Seattle Tyler
Yep.
Betts.
Shout out to
San
Tyler Betts.
Diego.
San Diego,
Okay,
my boy.
Tony
Hey, what
Sal.
up, Diego? Right
Shit.
here. Dude, right here. We're right here. Diego. What's
Shit.
up?
You got to link up with
Right here,
MTK
Barrio
after
Logan.
this. Yeah, you got to link up
Right
with
here, Barrio Logan.
MTK.
What's up? West Coast Radio. Throw it
Tony
up.
Sal gonna pop up on MTK one of these days outside in the wild in SD.
Pull up.
All right.
Don't diss Cuddy.
Don't diss
All right,
Cuddy.
let's get back to the show.
All right. Cuddy.
Hey, we got too much fun with the homies on the streets over here.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Cuddy when I was younger.
Hey, hold on, Soda Pop. Don't get Jacob started on the best rapper of all time conversation. All right. Let's just. He's like.
I think the boys know my young boy. Young boy, my number one rapper. NBA young boy, my number one rapper.
No, that's not your number one rapper.
Right now, my number one. But who did I say is the best of all time?
The homie that passed away.
The homie that passed away? Juice WRLD? Yeah, Juice WRLD is one of them.
Yeah, Juice WRLD.
At the
Juice
time,
WRLD.
for a certain generation.
Put that in a poll.
Who's a bigger rapper? Juice WRLD
Triple
or Draco
X?
the Ruler?
Oh, well, you already know.
We already know that one.
I mean, for me, I already know what it'd be, but
shit,
you should put
Chad's going to say
triple,
Juice.
Triple X or Juice WRLD.
Okay, that's actually a good one.
They're in the same type of like a...
How do you say
Cuddy sacrificed goatees to Satan as well.
Okay.
He's gonna say Juice WRLD. Soda Pop said he's gonna say Juice WRLD or something. Andre 3000 to go. Andre 3000's a legend. You know what I mean? That's Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah.
NBA Youngboy is a plant. Damn. What about Crip Mac?
Crip Mac?
Hey, what about Crip Mac?
I don't even think Crip Mac can fucking rap.
Bro.
He probably ass at rapping. I never listened to a Crip Mac song. Have you?
No.
Nah.
No. You know who's been growing on me is Young Pestle. He's been growing
Young
on me.
Peso.
Yeah, he's been really growing on me
I
actually.
haven't heard of him.
He's from LA.
No,
He just got out.
the rap scene is like quiet right now. I still got old rappers. I mean, the rappers I like are like getting old now, so to speak. Like they're not the
right.
young 20-year-olds. Like I still like Kodak Black and like Young Boy and shit. Like I was listening to a little bit of Sauce Walka today,
Mm,
but that's about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 24/7 Draco.
Draco, you still be bumping Draco
It's just on a road.
on
Just run it
repeat.
back. Just repeat. All right, let's get back to the MMA.
All right.
All right. So white card, Ilya. If I were to give it out of a 10, I'd give it a 7.
10, you give it a 7?
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'll give it like
Now that I've had some time to kind of sleep on it, my initial reaction, 6 out of 10.
it's tough.
Because you guys, here's the thing with this Sean O'Malley Sahibi fight. I was like, we were talking about like who Sean O'Malley should fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Corey Sandhagen, but the Sahibi fight, I'm not too excited about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Two things. I think the initial reaction to the card was this, right? We're not getting the fights we want. Pereira versus Gone, no John Jones, right? That's an issue.
Yeah.
O'Malley versus
Right.
Zahabi, no Sandhagen, that's an issue, right?
Right.
Ruffy versus Chandler, no McGregor, that's an issue.
Right.
So those simple facts right there, I think there was
They're all backup fights.
Yeah, it was
they're all backup fights.
Yes, exactly. It was an adverse reaction. But when now that we've like settled with that and we know that that's not happening anymore, when you look at it and you forget about that, it does seem like a decent card,
Right.
So that's the catch to it. It does seem like a decent card.
Yeah.
Now that I've accepted that Sandhagen's not on here and McGregor's not on here and Jones isn't on here, okay, there's still good fights, but I'm not gonna forget that they could have been better fights. So yeah, I guess the card's like a 7, right? But it should have been a 9. It should have been a 10 with the fights that we wanted to see.
And I think too
that's why
that
people are mad. It's not that they're bad fights, it's that there were better fights to be made.
Yes, these were all backup fights. These are all like option 2.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, too, they should have put Umar versus Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. That would have been another one, or you know what I mean. Sandhagen. Also, it could have been Ilya versus Islam, but I guess Islam's injured, which I think is cap, bro. Since when?
I honestly don't think their camp wants to fight at the White House like at all, and especially everything that's going on over there in Iran. That's the last place they want to be at.
Yeah, so we settled for what, USA versus Canada. Kind of lame. I'm not really behind that. Are you really nationalistic for that? Like, bro, USA versus Russia, we would have been hyped, and so would they.
Oh, they could have sold that so big.
So would they. I'd be hyped on that one.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the beef.
Right. But yeah, these are all like second options. But like you said, like now been able to sleep on it. We got some bangers. They're all ranked fights.
Yeah.
There's something on the line. That Michael Chandler's gritty. Mauricio Ruffy, the dog. I could care less about the Bo Nickel Kyle fight, but the Diego Lopez Steve Garcia, that's a really good matchup for Steve Garcia, and Diego Lopez is a good competition. So I'm interested to see what happens, how that all plays out.
I'm gonna rock with Steve Garcia low key in that one.
See, I'm low key going with Diego just because I feel like he's very high level. Well, he didn't beat Volk, but he's top 3 for a reason.
I would say Diego's resilience and pressure is really what helps him out. And for Steve, I do think Steve's going to be more technical than him. And I'm banking on Steve being more technical and getting the dub off that. But, you know, Diego, he got a lot of pressure. He's resilient. He throws big shots. So, Kyle Dawkins, I think, is a terrible matchup for Bo, too. I think Bo could easily lose that fight.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize Steve Garcia beat Costa. Wow.
Yeah.
He knocked him out.
Nah, Steve is super technical on the feet.
All right.
Super technical and long, and I think Diego, he's a marauder, and that breaks guys and then allows him to get off. Wow. But
Steve Garcia's 1 KOs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 KOs in his last 6 fights.
Yeah, no,
that's a good
Garcia
record.
Is him.
That's Hey, I like that. I like that.
Also, he's like homies with Charlie Kirk, like for real.
Really?
R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, somebody posted a picture of them today. I saw on my feed.
That's interesting.
But Kyle Dawkins is a big ass middleweight, and I think it's a terrible matchup for Bo. I think it's a terrible, terrible matchup for Bo. Homie is 6'3", 76-inch reach. Bo Nickel, 6'1", 76-inch reach. 30
Hmm.
versus 33. So get ready for that one.
Dawkins got a submission, so he don't mind grappling. Got a KO.
Nah,
Got a KO.
and
Oh,
Bo's a
he submitted
wrestler.
Mirshot. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, and Bo's a wrestler. The UFC knows what they're doing. I told you the matchmakers are smart. They're
Yeah.
forcing Bo to go up against like good jujitsu guys, and they want Bo to wrestle him and defeat his jujitsu. That's what the UFC wants him to do. Can he do that with Kyle Dawkins? Kyle, if he gets put on his back, I think Bo's gonna have quite a bit of success. But if Kyle can maybe get a standing guillotine or something, or take advantage of the clinch with knees, it might play in his favor. Or if Kyle can get on top, I could see him submitting Bo. But that's going to be my
Hmm.
breakdown. Kyle is the jiu-jitsu guy. Bo's the wrestler. The UFC is keeping on giving him grapplers. Even Bo's last opponent was a jiu-jitsu black belt.
You know what's funny about this card is like the drama after the aftermath was bigger than the card
It's still been, and we're not even
because
really talking about the fights.
because of like just the whole John Jones aspect of it and just the way Dana White basically said John Jones retired. Just so everybody knows, he's not in the fight business anymore.
Yeah, I explained this too last night to the boys on the stream, but
Yeah.
if anyone else is new tonight listening, I might as well explain it one more time. The reason why that's so confusing, my conclusion now, is that they were all negotiating, right? So it's a lot of blowing smoke too. It's a lot of disingenuousness going on, trying to like posture, right, to get the most money possible or pay out the least
Right.
money possible. And I think now you have all the different camps speaking out about their negotiations. And you have to keep in mind that just because you were negotiating, it doesn't mean everything you were told was the truth and like the exact plan, right? There were
Sure.
negotiations. And so I think that's why John Jones feels so played. And even like, Islam and Ilya beefing over who ducked who and the negotiations, and like, Islam's camp is accusing Ilya of asking for too much money and outpricing himself in the negotiation, ducking him that way. And it's like the UFC could have easily been bullshitting and just told him that, you know? And
True.
so that's the thing people aren't realizing, is that in these negotiations, when you hear what Ali said, that's what he was told through the lens of like the UFC and what the UFC wanted him to hear in order to make a fight happen that they wanted to get. So it's not necessarily the truth, really. And I think maybe the best person to kind of listen to, it sounds kind of crazy now, but maybe Dana does know what he's talking about a little bit, because he is the one who knows the master plan, and they're the ones who are kind of lying to everybody else to get the fights
Oh
that they
yeah.
want. So when you hear these
Right.
other guys speaking out saying this is what the UFC told me, it's like, but bro, the UFC could have been lying to you. They were negotiating, right? That's why like people say like I want 80 million, right? When they really want 60 million, because
Sure.
they know that the other guys are going to come down about half as much, and then they're going to go back up and meet in the middle,
Sure.
right?
100%.
And so if you go saying he wanted 80 million for this fight, it's like, bro, he was really trying to get that 60 million. Don't be capping.
Right. That was his go number, but he got it. He had to go up.
Right. And so I think that's some of the stuff that's going to be going on where it doesn't make sense. It's because, yeah, they're parroting negotiations, and you probably shouldn't do that. You probably
Yeah.
shouldn't do that.
Hey, what's the boys are talking to the streets are talking about Silva and Bryce tonight?
Yeah. That's tonight. Hype fighting is tonight. And Armand
What is
versus
that?
Mokayev. It's
What
like
is
a
that?
grappling event, kind of like RAF, but it's the
Oh,
Russian
okay.
version. It's like, that reality show too, where like John Jones and DC are coaching.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a little bit of like another event they're hosting, which is like Hype Brazil grappling.
Is that where the fight all broke out?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The press
Yeah.
conference? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to
Anyway,
be like 10-minute submission only matches. You got Armand versus Mohammed Mokayev. Mohammed Mokayev is that flyweight that they cut.
right.
Armand is a big ass lightweight, so doesn't really make sense. But they're basically the same height. And then they got Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva, and then the
The
rest are kind of
rematch.
like BS matches.
Right.
Yeah, but you know, everybody be, you know, living off the UFC fighters' names. You know, RAF be eating off of it. Hype Brazil, you know, the Hype Tough reality show. All the other promotions signing, you know, UFC releases. Dirty Boxing living off of it, right? Dirty Boxing living off of previous UFC fighters and shit. They all
Right.
do. Jake Paul, MVP Promotions. Crazy. Even at the low state that the UFC's in, all these other things that you see popping up, it's like UFC fighters' names.
They have to, I mean, gets
Yeah. I don't know if it's laziness or a real lack of stars. You know, I don't know. I think that I personally think it's promotions trying to get money, so to speak, not really being invested in a sport, right? And relying on certain names because you know what Craig Jones does? So I might be getting a bit hardcore for you right now. So I apologize in
okay.
advance. But Craig Jones, the jiu-jitsu guy, with CJI, he's one of the guys, or I think the UFC didn't let him get UFC fighters, but he is so locked in on the sport that he will put together a whole card full of people nobody knows, and he'll sell you each competitor, name you each tournament that he's won and all of their accolades and medals and the notable competitors they've submitted, right? And that can sell you because you're like, oh, he submitted this person, he won this tournament, right? But I think that the promoters who be, you know, signing UFC fighters to compete in wrestling and grappling, there's better competition they could pick up, but they're not invested in the sport like that.
Mm.
Even Jake Paul, how invested are you in fucking boxing and MMA, bro? Why don't you sign fucking, you know, prospects to this Netflix card? You're not
Right.
locked in on it at all.
Right.
You are not
Or
locked in on it at all.
he's not trying to build from the ground up.
And I know of prospects, but I'm not going to name the prospects because these are my prospects. You know, do your own digging. You feel me? I'm not going to release my prospects.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But, you know, that's what I would say is these people who use the UFC fighters' names to sell their events, you know, I think it, you know, I don't know. I don't want to hate on it
Unbroken
too
said it's no
much, but
different. Unbroken said it's no different than indie wrestling over WWE wrestlers that left or fired. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but it's kind of like picking up the pieces. It's kind of lame. Not
Yeah.
super lame, but kind of lame. I don't mean to hate.
I just want to say this too. This is what Colby read. It's piss poor at best. The fans have spoken. They said they hate it. It's a terrible card. They promised 6 or 7 title fights. Now they have one title fight and an interim title fight that they just put together last minute. The thing was so disorganized. They put it together last minute. There wasn't any big high-ranking American fighters where the guy is representing America on the 250th birthday of America.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they don't care anymore. They made all that money with Paramount and they just happy. It is what it is. Colby Covington.
You know what I also wanted to say though, speaking about the state of the White House card, it's fine to hate on it. It's fine to hate on it. But let me say this, it needs to be said. Ronda Rousey hating on the UFC White House card, what she said is true about it, but don't get it twisted. Okay? She's hating on the UFC White House card, and this card is still better than the Netflix event. So fuck off with all of that. Fuck off with all that hate on UFC White House because what does that say about your event then? If White House card is bad, then what the fuck is your event? You and Gina Carano.
It's one of those things that I forgot who said it, but it was like, yeah, if I'm home and I got nothing else to do, I'll throw on Netflix.
You know, I've already been on record saying, please don't do that. Don't be a mindless consumer. Do not even do that. Fuck them.
All right.
Fuck them. Please don't do that.
I'll tune into the Perry Punch Show then.
Yes,
How's that?
please. I'm not even going to stream this shit, I don't think.
Whoa.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Yeah, you gotta get those views up, bro.
Yeah. Come into my stream. Don't watch it on Netflix. Come into my stream. Fuck that shit, bro. Honestly.
I mean, it's one of those things where like it'd be a hard. Like if let's say someone called me up like, hey, we're gonna go watch the Ronda Rousey fight, I was like, bro, I'm good.
That's the gauge. When you see your homie, if you say like, if they go like, oh, are you watching this fight tonight? And they know about it, that's the sign that it's a good fight. But if you go, hey, are you watching? But nobody ever in history will ever go up to somebody and say, yo, you watching Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano tonight? You watching Francis Ngannou versus Felipe Lins tonight? I mean, you got to be in high school if you're going to be doing something like that, not knowing anything about the sport, just freshly getting into it. But
I never got an answer for him. So Jacob be leaving me on unread, guys. Like all the time, bro.
What
Like
happened?
I gotta chase him down. Medic or Joe Alvarez?
Oh yeah. Joel, yeah. I got Joel Alvarez for sure.
All day?
Yeah, I did forget to respond to that one. That's my bad. But
But that would get Medic right out, right?
yeah, that would. And Joel
Medic,
Alvarez is the real prospect. Yeah,
the dog.
yeah. Let's get
He's
him
a
up in there. I don't
dog.
know where he's been. He needs a fight announcement soon.
He needs a fight announcement too. That's the right fight to make.
I'm behind
I
that
like
one
the
for
Sam
sure.
Peterson fight coming up too.
Who's that against?
Sam Peterson is versus.
Yeah, against two.
Yeah, let me look that one up. I just saw it too.
And then we got to look into the Dan Hooker files because I think you're going to be mind blown with a few things.
And
then
all right,
we'll
let's
end the
get into
stream.
that.
Yeah. She
Bro, those
released
were
part 2 of the Dan Hooker files. Is crazy.
Bro, it was crazy work, bro. Like she's so.
She toxic, but dude, Dan
Bro,
went for the most
yeah,
toxic bitch you could imagine. She literally
she's
looks
a-
like it.
She's a scorn lover for show.
Yeah. Dan's an
Like,
idiot for trying to get her to sign an NDA after breaking up with her. It's like, bro, are you kidding me? After you break up with her, she's not signing shit.
Well, didn't it seem like she got mad because he pulled up on another OF girl and like started taking her out too, right?
Yeah, and he was posting it on his story, bragging about
Right.
it. It's like, dude,
Oh,
don't
Sam
do
Peterson.
That.
He don't give a fuck. Sam Peterson MVP.
Oh, that's right. Tough. That's gonna be tough
like
for
that.
Sam Patterson. We'll see.
It is gonna be Patterson. I'm sorry. Yeah,
MVP
it
just
is. It
such
is.
a
But
fucking veteran.
he is. But if you pull that off, okay,
Yeah.
deserved.
I mean, definitely, you're certified if you pull that one off.
Certified, right?
Okay, so let's go.
Do you have the ability to put the screenshots up on the actual screen right here, like Academics does?
Not really.
All right.
Because we're not in a split screen, but I might be able to.
The whiteboard.
Let me see. Since you're asking, let me try. Bear with me.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, bear with me. Let's go scene 2 here. Bear with me, boys in the chat. Okay, so if I go window capture, let's capture the Zoom meeting.
I love how
For some reason it
Jacob
doesn't show on here. I don't know why.
Jacob just comes out in a white tee, like
Always.
super like dollar store swag.
Dollar store swag, you know me. Okay, I think I know what I gotta do. I gotta do display.
Oh, it went black.
Yeah. I'm gonna do display capture.
Oh, that's the OF. Oh, that's because you brought up the OF X-rated version.
It's like nah.
Hey,
They got that
Jacob
shit blocked.
all black, hella naked doing live streams.
Okay. Here we are in the corner. We in the cut corner. No Diddy.
You know what? Some girl that I know follows Michael Morales on OF.
Some girl you know follows Michael Morales.
Right.
What does he post? Zesty shit or what?
I didn't even ask, bro. I didn't even ask.
Okay.
I didn't even trying to go there.
Let me go.
I'm sure he don't I'm sure he don't care though. I'm sure he's down to do whatever.
Nah, yeah. Michael Morales, he definitely posted something zesty on there. I already know it. Okay. Here we go. Shout out to you for that suggestion. Sometimes I just need to be motivated to like do something new.
Well, if there's a time to do it, it's right now.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Hey, did you get Saturday on?
No, I think Saturday wants to come on tomorrow. I still need to respond to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but okay, here we are.
Oh.
What you think of this? Is this kind of nice?
Oh, game changer.
Yeah.
Game changer. Hey.
All right. Shout out to all the boys in the chat right now. Run up the likes just for this right here.
Wow.
Okay. So allow me to read this off to you. All right. So first off, let's go to what Dan said today. So Dan addressed his baby mom or his stripper ex-mistress for the first time seriously. That's what she is. She is stripper ex-mistress. He finally addressed the allegations seriously. So let's hear it. He says, okay, it's been a minute. I'm back to training, but before I go back to my team, I feel like I need to address a couple of things, mostly out of respect for people I care about who have been going through it. My wife has been my rock and will always be my best friend and the mother of our awesome girls. My kids are my world. I'll look after my family until the day I die, and every day after that. They mean everything to me. I don't think most of this is anyone's business, and you know what they say, you shouldn't believe everything you see and even less of what you hear. The blowups on social media caught me off guard. I honestly didn't think anyone would take it seriously, but since people care, it's pretty simple. I ended an arrangement with someone. Naturally, she wasn't happy and asked for 100K for an NDA. I said no. What happened next was wild. She was clearly upset and started a campaign of lies to try to embarrass and defame me, and mostly to intentionally upset my family. I'm not making excuses for myself. It is what it is, but it hurts when the people who end up getting dragged into it are the ones who did nothing wrong. So, he's painting a picture of a scorned ex. He broke up with her, wanted her to sign an NDA, and, blah, blah, blah. So he wants to, word it as though he's kind of getting a dub,
You know what?
right?
You know what's crazy is that his previous responses were more dubs than this.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he had to try to go out and explain himself, it's almost an L.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into it, because this pissed her off. She was
Right.
okay with his previous responses, playing it off like it's a joke. But
Oh,
when
she
he
was-
provided receipts, she was not happy.
Right. It's like an ex that you break up with, and then like she just every time you see her, it's just like drama.
Mm-hmm. So she
Honestly,
posted
bro-
text messages with his wife, with him.
Hey, so what do you think? I mean, she's a little baddie, right?
I mean, she's kind of a baddie, yeah. Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, all right, hooker, we see you.
Yeah, we see you, Dan.
Paying for it, but it is what it is.
But at the
right?
same time, it's like we all know about these types of chicks, and
Isn't
I
it
don't
crazy,
think it's
bro?
one that you would wife up. Dan, I do give Dan an L for wifing her up the way he did.
But isn't it crazy, bro? She looked like she's like a Latina from like Southern California and LA and shit.
Yeah, she does for sure.
Right? Like if she was walking on the street in LA, you'd be like, oh, that's a Mexican chick and shit. That's the homegirl.
I wonder what she is. She probably is a little bit Latin.
She's Australian.
I guess so. But
Yeah.
Dan's like Australian. What is Australian? Is it Polynesian? I mean, Dan's white.
I mean, well, it's a mixture of the indigenous and the people from that
It's
like
a bit native.
colonized.
Is it a bit
like
native?
colonized? Yeah, they have native
She
and
doesn't.
indigenous.
She
people.
doesn't give me an Australian look though, personally. Like I've seen other Australian women who
Uh,
look a bit Asian. She doesn't look a bit Asian. I think the look of Australian is a bit Asian. Like Tai Tuivasa
Anyway.
or something, right? Or like
Right. Well, they're more like from like
Polynesian Asian.
right.
Yeah. Now she
Right.
does look a little bit Latina though. It's nice to point out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just read
Left
you guys.
me.
I'll read you guys the cliff notes, and then we'll get into it because it's important. What do you?
Left me.
Yeah, exactly. So here it is, right? Here's the cliff notes, and then I'll read you the details. But she goes, Dan Hooker's stripper ex-mistress has responded to his claims that she crashed out and accused him of being gay over him breaking up with her and refusing to pay 100K for her to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and released part 2 of the Dan Hooker files.
She was just waiting to drop that, bro.
Oh, she had him on deck.
She was waiting, dog.
Here's what she released. She posted text messages revealing she broke up with him over a gay corn addiction. She also alleges he ripped a Cartier bracelet off her and had his foot on her neck the night before his fight at UFC Qatar.
Ooh.
I mean, she was at UFC Qatar, bro. Go look at her IG. She posted pics from the arena.
How many followers she
He
has?
flew her ass out. I didn't even check that. But he flew her
Yeah.
ass out to be with him at UFC Qatar. Like, this was his baddie.
Mm.
A stripper
That's crazy
baddie,
work.
bro. He's no better than fucking Tank Davis.
But
What's
that's
with
crazy
these guys
work.
getting with strippers? That's the biggest cuck activity ever.
I mean,
Bro, what?
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
it's way more sexy having a modest chick who has barely any bodies. How the fuck are you choosing this
all right.
over
Well,
that?
that's a whole different conversation. I get.
But
that.
you're a UFC fighter. You got the bag. Like, why can't you go get that? Like, you got no game,
Okay.
homie.
Okay. I feel you on
What
that.
the
I feel
fuck
you on
is
that.
going on? Like, if a regular dude off the street's pulling a baddie, why are you going into the strip club? You're above that. You the superstar. Anyway, let's read the Dan Hooker files.
Okay.
So she goes, where's any evidence of anything you are saying? An arrangement ? An NDA ? You breaking up with me? Any of it? Oh yeah, exactly. I left you at Nobu in Melbourne. By the way, if a girl wants to take him to Nobu, tread carefully. I left you at Nobu in Melbourne for being disgusting at me at the table. I said I was going to the bathroom, but an Uber home but got an Uber home and packed your shit, then left it outside my apartment for you to collect. I broke up with you. You offered $50K NDA for me to not speak on the shit I found in your phone during an argument in December of last year, to which I replied 100K and laughed. That was the only time an NDA was ever brought up or spoken about. We both laughed it off and stayed together for another 2 to 3 months after that argument. If what I posted wasn't true, why aren't you suing me? That's a good point. Because she made some damning allegations. I never needed to upset your family. As soon as we broke up, you publicly posted with an OnlyFans girl at dinner, then flew a stripper from Melbourne, the city I live in, to Queenstown.
That's why she got mad.
Yeah. To Queenstown to spend time with you. To Queenstown to spend time with you there, just to now be playing happy families and trying to make it right again. You've been on a bender since the day we broke up. You're a pathetic mess of a man, and no one should ever believe a word that comes out your narcissistic mouth. Oh, shit. And she posts pictures with him at Nobu. Where's MTK at? We gotta wait for him. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I hope you boys are enjoying this. We ready? Okay, so now we got screenshots with Dan Hooker's wife. You see it. Look at the screen. It says Dan's wife. Okay, so she was texting Dan's wife, and it goes, just posted it up so I can see it, like all my family and friends, etc. So disgusting that he thinks it's a flex. Like publicly showing he's on a date with her is insane. I'm cracking up at the post, LOL. Serves him right for being so fucking brazen. The music. So this is messages from Dan's wife. It's coming from the left column. That means that that's Dan's wife. By default. By default.
To who? But she sent that to who?
To her.
Oh, so they're going back and forth now.
She was in contact with Dan's wife. They were both pissed off that Dan posted this new OnlyFans model on his story. She's like, so disrespectful. She posted that up for my family and friends to see. What a bitch. Dan.
Whoa.
You know, Dan disrespecting his own wife and his wife fucking venting to his stripper mistress. She goes, you posted up with an OnlyFans girl at dinner before I posted a thing about you. You hurt your own family 1,000% fold. I just posted the truth about you and your activities after that fact. So then she aired him out after he already aired himself out. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because, you know, his family, of course, follows her. So here's text messages now. I don't know who between, but it goes, I was horny. Fair. Sorry, girl, but he's really chewing my ear off with the fantasies, and I mean, he's in a whole new apartment without you. What was I supposed to think? She goes, yeah, I get it. I put him there so he's not doing dumb shit around the kids. I didn't have a go at you last time. Just found it bizarre he called me to tell me that. Last time, ? There's been lots of times. He really loves the drama. Not sure if he's done this for me to relate to Kira or what, but they're not together anymore. But you must have been getting with him when he was with her. If you're saying you've got with him lots. But you must, with him lots. Since October 2024, ? Like I said, it's so I don't question it. So you've been getting with him since October 2024? That's when he first got with Kira too. I don't know. I sort of mind my business and don't ask him questions. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. Also, you've been on my story before and didn't say a word, so I left it. Wait, sorry, got confused with dates there. He's been with Kay since October 2023, LOL. Why didn't you stay the night with him? And then she goes, I'm over this clown ass man and his bullshit. I have receipts for everything I've ever said and claimed. He's been getting away with his toxic, abusive ways for years. His actions hurt people, and that has nothing to do with me. I just shared my truth, and now he's trying to turn it around like he left me and I'm bitter over money. ? Sir? ? Like you didn't break my Cartier bracelet right off my wrist and have your foot on my neck the night before your fight. Please don't respond again. I'm so over this foolery. Gape a little more for them is crazy. Gape a little more for them. Oh, and I haven't leaked anything off those photos circulating. He must have sent it to one of his mans. So there's new photos circulating that no one's really seen yet, or the MMA media cycle has not picked up on yet. But I did want to bring this to everybody's attention. She says, oh, and I haven't leaked anything off those photos circulating. He must have sent it to one of his mans. So there's
And
new
she
photos
dropping this on her
circulating.
stories, or
On
what
her
is she dropping?
stories. On her stories. I was peeping her story today.
What is her name, dude?
I don't have it off the top of my hand, but let me read you more. This is like the second to last one. Okay. These are text messages between her and Dan now. Now she just
Okay.
revealed the text with her and Dan's copying to all of it in the messages. He's copying to all of it. Like a sad puppy, bro. So hear this out. It's got nothing to do with the toys. This is her. It's the fact that you've got a corn addiction and you don't even watch any straight corn. You just watch gay corn and orgies and threesomes and just the most outlandish shit. Then spend your days on a swingers website looking for things that excite you. These aren't things that align with me. And then something so bad that she had to blur it out. Okay, she blurred out the following text, but then she goes on to also say, it's to do with you doing all these things that make me feel unsafe and uncomfortable. And then he goes, don't want to, he goes, I'm sorry. I don't want anyone else. I only want you. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'm sorry that looking on that website made you feel like that. It's just a kink thing. I don't want to act on any of that, or I don't want to act out any of that stuff. We have incredible sex and I'm 100% happy in our sex life. I get defensive because I'm disappointed in myself that I let you down, lied, and upset you. But truthfully, I logged on, got disgusted, and logged off. I don't want to log on to that website ever again. She goes, I've thought about this carefully. Regardless of your intentions, being on swingers sites makes me feel unsafe, turned off, and disconnected from you. This isn't something I can compromise on or talk myself into being okay with. I need a relationship where my boundaries are respected without defensiveness or secrecy. I'm watching actions, not words. He goes, I understand that it would make you feel unsafe. So you are saying what about our relationship? ? Is this something we can work through? She goes, it's to do with you doing all these things that make me feel unsafe and uncomfortable. Go explore and have filthy experiences. It's fine. But when you're promising me the opposite, it's wild. These things are obviously more of a priority to you. So go do that. Go spend your time at orgies and fucking strangers or watching corn for hours. He goes, no, it's fucked up, disgusted with myself, to be honest. I don't want to be that person. Just for myself, it's unhealthy. So, I mean, if that's not part 2 of the Dan Hooker files, I don't know what is.
That is crazy.
But that is part 2 of the Dan Hooker files, and arguably worse than part 1. In fact, I reviewed part 1, and it is 100,000,000% worse and more damning than part 1. What does the chat have to say? You are just at a complete loss for words, and I'm shocked too. But I also have digested this all day because I woke up to this news. Tony Sal's dying laughing.
the fact that he just like posted these pictures so nonchalant with all these girls, I guess, that I had no idea all this other stuff was going on. Zero idea of this going on. But you know what's crazy? Like Shannon Sharp just got fired from ESPN for an OF girl, bro.
Yeah. I guess everybody has, this is what I've realized. So I always kind of like project my preferences, and I think that that's the norm. But the truth of the world is that everybody, they like something, right? There's something for everybody. And so, but for me, that's like so not my type. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I see the trouble in that. I feel like, for me, I wouldn't be able to help the jealousy, so to speak, right? I'm showing the fucking.
But here's the other thing too. Like if you want to really go deeper into it, I'm a perfect example of this, bro. But like doing drugs, going to strip clubs, I know OF girls, I know escorts, bro. Like like those scenes you saw in Wolf of Wall Street. You get to a point where you just keep crossing those sexual lines and you become more of a sexual deviant. And the more you do that, the more you need to cross another line to get off.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you start getting this filthy mindset and the more you're being able to actually live out some of your darkest fantasies, it becomes this like thing that you chase, like a craving,
Mm-hmm.
a sexual like crack.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all the money to do it. And then you have an OF girl like, dude, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, okay, let's do it, right? But she doesn't know how far you'll take it. But the fact that you have money, you could be like, well, I'll just go meet somebody else if you don't want to do it. And I'll just go throw money at that and I'll be able to do it with her. You know, and so guys, dude, I think I told you before, like I went 2 weeks without porn. I'm going on another 2 weeks without corn. And because your mind gets distorted
Mm-hmm.
on these sexual fantasies of what you want to lust for. Going out with a girl just doesn't do it for you anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And this is evident, right? We can just go down the names of like Shannon Sharp. That was evident. And guys having all this money and being able to find these like dimes, the girls, they don't care that they're not like how many bodies they have or what they're doing. That moral standard to them doesn't matter to them anymore.
Mm-hmm. They're on
Just
to
want
the
that.
next kink. It's almost like,
Bro, it's like a drug, right? But they
yeah,
found a
it's a high.
million. Yeah, it's a high, but they found a million different forms of highs on OF, on porn sites or on swinger clubs, wherever they can get that next little, because really what they're doing is the nut, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're chasing.
Mm-hmm.
That euphoria is really what you're chasing. But that's one of the best drugs in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, right?
I could be a bit of a freak too. I'm not gonna lie, and I do see like Juice saying, "Let me find out MTK a freak too." And it's like I could be a freak too, but
Ah.
some of the crazy shit, Let me ask you a question. Do you think some of that could come from like a lack of game or something? Like I do get what you're saying, but how do you even dabble in that in the first place? Like, meaning like could you be not even insinuating this about you, right? But I'm saying like I actually think you might have a little bit more game than a Dan Hooker per se.
But
But
I think I think it's two things, right? Because
what?
I will say this, like I've been to strip clubs, bro. I was like strip club like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But we knew all the homegirls there. We weren't going to pay because all the homegirls were coming back with us because one of the dudes like was dating somebody. She brought all her friends, and then it became like a drug party,
Mm-hmm.
a sex drug party, right?
Mm-hmm.
You add all those things into the equation, which come on, knowing what Dan Hooker, there's something else going
He
on in there too,
experienced
bro.
that and he wanted to continue doing it, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that
so,
became his new kink. So now you can't just have a girl come over to the house or go get a hotel room with a baddie, right?
right.
Because
I
you've
mean,
been doing these orgies with
and
coke and all kinds of things.
let's be honest, sex is an addiction too. I mean, that's why Corn is one of the highest rated websites in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I mean it goes real deep if you want to get deep on it. But the game part of it, right? Like I could be at the strip club and have all the game in the world. Like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like blah blah blah. Hey, I'll run into you afterwards when we go over to the spot. Cool, I'll see you there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get into that world of being, a sexual freak or a deviant, and you just add the drugs and alcohol to it, bro, like you're so blindsided because all you want is that one thing of the nut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it go as dark as you can, like to
Yeah.
get off.
It's a slippery slope. I feel you.
A
I feel
very
you.
slippery slope,
I think
bro.
you
It's
hit
a
the nail on the head pretty well there, to be
yeah. It's
honest. I don't have much to
I'm,
add.
I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're hitting the nail on the head for damn sure. It's all making sense to me.
And it's crazy. Like I'm going on my third week of Ramadan right now. Like how much I've been able to change my life around. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
this isn't like I have to do a lot of hard looks in the mirror the past, shit, my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
bro. But
Yeah.
but it's so crazy, bro. I was just telling something the other day. It's like, bro, we can go into social media right now, and we have these girls being proud of how many bodies they have,
Mm-hmm.
being proud of they're on OF. You know what I mean? Being proud of like all these things that like they shouldn't be proud of. But
That girl's proud of it for sure.
social media has made it where it's okay to be like that, bro. Someone was just posting something the other day with Kim Kardashian. She's like 40, I don't know how old she is, like 40 something, but still selling that sexual swag.
Mm-hmm.
Like how that's a drug within itself too. The vanity portion of it.
The attention, you know, the validation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so many things you could spin off of that I'm glad now that I have a lot more clarity, bro. Just even right now, bro, like I just started drinking water right now. That will make you really understand who you are and what your cravings are.
Mm.
And until you can understand that and start answering those deeper questions, you will always chase consumption. And the best consumptions are sex, drugs,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
alcohol.
say indulgence, but another word for it is consumption. Yeah. It's an
All
interesting
right,
topic for
MTK,
sure.
that's all. That's all MTK got.
But here's what I would say. I almost wouldn't blame people who really get into that, because who doesn't want to maybe explore that? I guess the problem is getting addicted to it. Right? If you partake in one orgy and you don't continue to do it, so to speak, and let it ruin your life, you know, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? But it's the ones who kind of get involved in it and they can't really seem to let it go.
You know, here's the thing too. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like I can't tell you the amount of times I've been in like almost like drug fused, like not Diddy parties, but like very low key Diddy parties.
Mhm.
Everybody was like,
Everybody's so drugged out that it just starts to go
so
down.
consenting adults though, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
no one was like really switching girls per se,
Uh-huh.
but like it wasn't a big deal. Like if you were like doing something with a girl next to your homie doing something with a girl,
Yeah, I got
like
you.
didn't. But if I was sober, I would be like, nah, I would feel
You'd be
uncomfortable.
like, yo, what the hell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the fact that you're so like in this mind space of like, oh, I want to push the limits.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing too. I want to push the limits. I want to go a step further, just to have that even a more of a euphoria feeling. It can be, like you said, it's a very slippery slope.
And
And
the
and,
drugs and
and to
alcohol, it's also to enhance.
and the money. So now you get enticed to like, oh, I saw this girl on Instagram. Oh, she's bad. Oh, I just found out she's on OnlyFans. Oh, I can throw all the money at her in the world.
That's, I
Dude,
think,
Shannon Sharp,
the cardinal rule you can never break,
but
in my
but
opinion.
but like Shannon Sharp's a good example, bro. Shannon Sharp, bro, was like, I don't know what that how much he ended up paying, but I know it was in the millions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he got fired from ESPN, bro. Like, you know how much money he left on the table for an OF girl?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
But it's because they're like fucking with these chicks like contractually instead of off like the tip that
But
they like them, and that's because they're throwing money at them from the start. If you
but
want to pay for a tuggy at a massage parlor, don't get it wrong. I'm chill with that. You feel me? Go pay for it. But
do
if you're
you, right?
paying women to like you and be with you and spend time with you and be in these
Yeah,
entanglements, that's the
yeah.
cardinal rule I would
But
never break. I would
and here's
never
the
break
flip
that.
side.
Do not
And
lead
here's the
with
flip.
money. That's a lesson for all the boys. Do not lead with money when it
And
comes to
here's the
these
flip side of
bitches.
that. The girl will then be enticed because she doesn't have that world, right? She doesn't have like this guy sitting on millions of dollars. I don't know if Dan Hooker is, but I'm using Shannon Sharp as an example. This could change my
Well,
world. Oh,
that's
I'm
why
not
it's
going to
so
leave.
enticing for the man, because we instinctually know
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, we know the dynamic. It's like seeing a girl, right, pulling up in a Mercedes. Think about this, right? A baddie pulls up in a Mercedes, or a baddie, same baddie, pulls up in a little bit of a beater. Which one are you gonna have more confidence to go up to and talk to, though?
Oh, the beater.
Exactly.
Sup,
Exactly.
girl?
Because you could come save her. The one in the
Right.
Mercedes, you are going to be a little bit intimidated. And that's the same thing. Like, you know, as a man, I think being a millionaire, now you that have that complex with every woman, because
Yeah.
right, you can give them a life that they wish they want to have. And that's like any average woman, right? They could be driving like a nicer car than a beater, but you still can give them a life that they still don't have. And I think it's very enticing for guys like Shannon Sharp. We won't say about Dan Hooker, because Dan Hooker,
Yeah.
he was like, you know, Dan Hooker had it backwards. He went and tried to get that lifestyle before he made the bread. That's why he'd been fighting so much. That's why he'd been taking these ass beatings. He's just fighting for show purses. He don't even think he's gonna win these fights. He's like, shit, I'm paying for this
I
bitch's
just
mortgage.
I just need the money.
Yeah, yeah. He did it backwards. He got the fucking toxic stripper bitch and bought her
But you know it's
before he made his bag.
but you know how many probably stories there are out there like this though?
Yeah,
Just one that got exposed.
yeah. It's crazy. You know, yeah, yeah. You know,
You
I
got to
don't
do
blame people. What?
you got to do the Trump move where you're just like, and
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say I don't really blame like Dan for stepping out on his wife, or these kinds of things. Like, I think, you know, people almost make it seem so normal that you're just gonna be faithful for your whole life, and like I don't know. I think that people act like it's not harder than it really is to do something like that. So I don't even look
Well,
down on Dan for that. But these files being released and like the gay stuff is kind of crazy, and the corn addiction and
that's a whole
paying
nother level.
paying money for the chick. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's a
what I
whole.
look down on. Like if you were to hit up a girl and you had a girlfriend on the side, I would not care one bit.
But you know what's crazy? There's some guys out there that think like, well, I'm gonna spend money if I'm in a relationship anyway. I might as well just spend money on someone that like I don't have to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I guess maybe coping though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because she's
But,
not going to like you for you, and then what's the point in spending time with her? Because
yeah.
that's what you're saying you want to do, spend time with her, but she truly doesn't want to
That's a
unless you pay
and
her.
that's a different question too. Yeah, but that's a
Yeah,
different question too. So
I think that's a
um,
solid way to kind of end it, or what? You got more thoughts
yeah,
about it?
no, that's it. I'm
That's
done.
probably the most casual conversation we had of the day, so I did kind of like that. Should we read the chat? What's the chat saying? Not much. Juice said another thing that was funny. He goes, done defending Dan Hooker now. Yeah, no more defending Dan. And then Dunn Daughter said MTK spitting facts. And then Unbroken goes, it's spiking the dopamine receptors. That's the problem is sex and the whole thing about it, even new sex, right? Just new sex. Think about, that's the thing why people kind of like as relationships go on, it's not as exciting anymore. Because like it's never gonna be the beginning, bro. That type of dopamine you get in the beginning, a new girl, so to speak, right? Getting her to give it to you, right? Like getting
The best
that.
feeling in the world.
Yeah,
It's the
like a
best feeling.
new cracking a new one. It's
It's
like
the
you can't even mimic that dopamine right there.
yeah.
So
It's
that's
like
a
it's like the
conversation in
first time
itself.
you. It's like the first time you smoke crack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna. You can't. You peaked.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing about it. It's the whole thing about it. And then,
Yeah.
I don't know, then the world tells you it's like you just got to lock in with the one baddie. And that's why I think it's harder than people really want to make it out to be because, you do experience a
Well,
dopamine that you're never going to get again.
and that's why, like, I'll say this for myself. Like, I'm gonna be 9 months sober this month, next week. Um, you have to do an inventory on how you looked at your sexual relationships and what I've literally have had to start over all my relationships with women because my initial point of going in was I want to you know I want to do that.
Yeah, same.
We have and so the question for me has been like, okay, I have to start over and realize that when I come into that, that's not the prize,
What's the
and
prize?
the prize is getting to is understanding somebody, is loving them, is protecting them, is for being there for them. I had the wrong perception, the wrong mindset, and the wrong mentality my whole life because because I wanted that feeling though.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like we just said, there's no better feeling than that. But it's an endless road. It's an empty pit because you will always want that. You will always chase that and try to find something else to get you to be that. Why do you think so many people are divorced? Because you found another new shiny toy.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that's gonna give you that feeling you just had when you first had met her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But anyway,
That is how it goes.
MTK
And
gets too deep.
I would say because I was saying, how does somebody like, will use willpower to just never crack a new chick for the rest of their life? And I would say, it should come, right, for the love that you have for your partner, the loyalty and respect you have for them. But if
And
you never take time to develop that for your partner, then that's never gonna, you're never gonna have that reason to hold out for them.
and here's
And
the
then you
other
have
thing
kids, and
too.
that's a whole nother conversation. Even
Well,
more
it's
the
a
reason.
whole nother
Yeah.
conversation.
Dan Hooker got
This is the whole
girls.
like relationship.
Dan Hooker got baby girls though, and he'd be cheating on his baby
Yeah.
mama. That's okay. It is what it is. But that's one thing that like I feel like that would be one of the easier things to kind of like take away some of the urges maybe that like a man has as far as like wanting to just like fuck every chick, so to speak. Is like if you have kids, I do think that might change the urges a little bit. Just because you want your kids to have a
You would
perception of
think,
you.
you would think,
I would think,
but
and a lot, everybody, how many divorced couples have kids and due to cheating, right? How many? So yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm just
how
saying
many baby dad? How many
hypothetically,
girls
we'll
out there?
see.
How many girls out there have 3 baby daddies?
Right, right. Some people too, they're just hornier than others. Like I got siblings, and I'm definitely more of a horny sibling than one of my other siblings. You feel me? Or like, you know, you got a
There's
friend
something-
group that like, you know,
there's something to be
one
said
dude's
of
like a
that.
horn dog, one dude, you know, he don't seem to be much of a horn dog.
There's something to be said on that. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
agree with
case by case too.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it has to do with like testosterone levels.
I don't know. We'd have
That's
to,
a
we'd have
random
to
ass
talk-
thought, but I'm just saying.
let's be a
If you're
scientist on
younger or
that one.
something and you're like more horny, who knows if it has to do with testosterone or not? Because I think steroids makes you a bit more horny. I'm not sure, but anyway, that's gonna be the stream, boys. Thanks again. Thanks again to Andrew Nance for dropping the 5 membies. Much appreciated.
That's how he ended it.
Yeah, that's gonna be the stream. Shout out to all the boys. Oh, Juice World. They say Juice World's bigger than X. He did drop a couple more, you know, albums, so to speak. He had a few more years on the planet.
Yeah.
X was a goat though. X was about to arrive. You know, he
Yeah,
just
he was.
arrived and he was about
He
to
was just
drop a
breaking
couple
in.
more.
He's just breaking in.
Juice
yeah.
had a chance to drop a couple more
Yeah.
before he passed away. So shout out to
R.I.P.
Tony Sal for the dono. Much appreciated. Fun
Fun
way to end. So,
end.
yeah, shout out to Jew, my man Jew. Okay, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I might have a guest on tomorrow. Avoid testosterone, boys. So you guys have a great one. I might have Saturday on tomorrow. We'll see. I need to respond to his text, so I'll be doing that today. So maybe look out for that tomorrow, boys. But yeah, we had MTK on today. You gonna be on next week, or what's the schedule looking like?
Next week may be tough. So I'll let you know by Monday for sure.
Okay, we weren't supposed to have
the
him on
last
this
week of the
so-
month. Definitely I'm out because I'm flying out that week.
Okay, but yeah, we weren't supposed to have MTK on this week, but he had an opening in his schedule, so he came on. So if he misses one of these other weeks, it's all good. We already got him on twice this month, I think, right? Last week and this week.
So.
Yeah. Okay.